Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian,
All right, buddy.
and joined by friend of the show, host of the Strat Chat podcast, our boy, Kyle Petty.
Hi, hello.
Kyle, we did miss you last week, bud.
Miss you guys too, honestly. We're not going to do that again. We're
No, we're
back.
ready to
We're
have the
back.
full squad back together. Make sure you're
Yes.
subscribed here on TikTok and all our social medias. We'll make sure to have the Strat Chat pod stuff linked there as well. Make sure Kyle gives us a little plug on the way out. But guys, this is episode 6 of the Amazing Race 35. We are in Jaipur. We are this. I'm going to say right off the top, guys. This was a very beat episode. There wasn't a lot of distress. Wasn't a lot of adversity in this episode that wasn't out of the norm. Frankly, I didn't love the episode overall. Guys, I want to get your opinion before we go through our normal recap.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tend to agree with you. I think really the only major point is like the U-turn usage is really, I think, the big topic of the discussion for this episode.
Kyle.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was saying all season that I thought that with the inclusion of U-turns at like this 90-minute episode would be so worth it. Oh my gosh, we'll get to see more. I am taking that back. 60 minutes would have been just fine. Yeah.
I think the idea that they have up to 90 minutes is nice. Now, we know a lot of this with the programming is with, I believe, with like the writer strike and the lack of scripted content that's happening kind of right now. But that being said, I do think by episode, it would be nice to get some maybe extended episodes next year. Say if there's 10, 11 episodes, maybe have like 3 or 4 of them be 90 minutes, right? But we can still probably have a nice 60-minute cadence, again, depending upon structure, season, elimination, legs, etc. I've been overall pretty positive on the 90 minutes, but this was one of the first weeks because, like I said, of what I felt was a little bit of lack of adversity that we didn't really need. We didn't see somebody stuck for hours on something, right? We didn't see a crazy travel mishap, a missed flight, a missed train, just something to add in where like, oh, we need this extra time. I didn't really think we saw it this week, but we can kind of highlight that as we run through. So I'll start here from the top. Like Brian had mentioned, we were teased last week, and they do highlight this. The U-turn vote is what occurs right off the top of the episode. You have to drop your photo into the photo of the person that you were voting for. Kind of thought it was a little bit more convoluted that way. I don't know why they couldn't just drop a chip or a ball or something.
I guess maybe just when they watch it back, who they can be mad at.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, I did enjoy it when they removed the cover and you saw all the faces there. I thought that was like a fun shot, but
okay.
It was a fun 1 second.
That's the best I can give it.
We do begin at the Gatora Key Shiaran, the go to the famous Nagra shoe store. The route info brought you to the Hawa Mahal. This was the place with 953 windows. Said it was one of the more Instagram famous locations in the country. I thought it was really cool. You had to use the telescope to find the specific instructions. Overall, what did you guys think of this challenge?
Were they blurry on purpose? Right, like they said, like when they're looking through the telescope, it was like blurry a little bit. Or did you have to adjust it, kind of like binoculars?
Maybe they had to wipe the lens like with some solution or a little huff and a wipe. You know what I mean?
And then just like
I don't know that you tell you the truth, Brian. That was not a question I was expecting to be asked. That was very good. You got me on tilt pretty quick. Kyle, what do you think about the zoom factor and the clearness on the telescope?
I don't know. This might have been one of those moments I was paying a little bit less attention, but it kind of seemed like a throwaway task. Like it just looked like we were just trying to do something with a telescope for some reason. I don't know.
A little sightseeing. Well, I know what they had to do. They had to go and find the clue in the correct window, which was, and read it off, which obviously was, I don't think, one of the more difficult challenges.
It didn't really look like anyone really struggled with this. So I struggled to find validation in why it existed in the first place.
I wonder if people grabbed multiple telescopes, Brian. They grabbed an unclear one and maybe crap, this one
Yeah,
sucks.
one is just like a dark end, so it's like opaque. So you're looking through, you're like, I can't see anything.
It's like that's the prank telescope.
Yeah, come out with a black eye.
Butthole eyes.
Honestly, I wish Phil did that. One of them had a black eye dye on it, so they come out the whole race. They have a black eye.
That actually would have made this task worth it.
I always just think of it's weird. I mean, this is like I guess like a childhood core memory, but I just think anytime I see like a telescope or think about any kind of like tourist telescope, I just think about Home Alone 2. And there's a scene where Kevin's using it and he looks looking around New York. I think it's on like the World Trade Center. It's pretty wild. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's just a nice childhood memory that pops up. You got holiday season coming up, and it's something that everyone should have on their holiday watch list. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Except that the first one's better.
I mean, yeah, objectively, yeah, but I mean, it's not a bad sequel.
Okay, because a lot of people try to shut me down because they think that Halloween, Home Alone 2 is like the better of the two, and it's like, get out of here.
I think it's a better if you objectively think about like if you're a kid, what you would want to have happen. Would you rather get left at home and have home invaders, or would you rather get to go to New York and stay in the Plaza Hotel and make friends with a pigeon lady and break your aunt and uncle's house up? I would rather do that probably.
Well, no way. All right, I have to think about birds. I would never be friends with the pigeon lady.
Brian, how about okay, Brian? Yes, you got to break the ice here. Would you rather have home invaders invade your own home, or would you rather have a nice 5-star luxury stay in New York? The kid had a limo.
That's not fair. Those are not
limo and a pizza. Here's your pizza, Mr. McAllister.
I'm gonna take it a different way. I'm gonna say Pigeon Man is greater than Pigeon Lady. Pigeon Man from Hey Arnold. So I'm gonna go Home Alone 1.
All right, well, we ended in the correct place.
The
So
like being like,
pigeon.
oh, you know, I really like cherry water ice. So the answer is 7. Like there's no, you know. Okay.
I just want to have a Pigeon Man reference on. You know that's the only time it's referenced.
We could have had Stoop Kid or something. Like we could have done it. I could have got you a Hey Arnold reference.
Pigeon Man.
Pigeon Man is a good reference.
I love that show. Hey Arnold is a great show.
No, these are good. No, honestly, I like this. All right, so speaking real quick, we will mention we were right. Steve and Annalie were the ones voted. We predicted this last week. Brian and I. We saw in the comments everybody. I'd say 90% were saying that's who they were going to go with as well. But hey, it didn't work out as far as like being eliminated, but they did lose position. We mentioned Logan, but he did write a good blog on his blog about like how the U-turns have affected other teams in the past, like people eliminated, position loss, etc. So that stuff's pretty cool. So there is that info out there. All right. So after you did the telescope that may have been rigged or dirty, you had the go to the Pink City Rickshaw Company for rickshaw release. This was cool because all their rickshaw drivers are women. Apparently, that is very rare. This is like an all female driving company, which is pretty cool. You basically had to help them get out of a parking nightmare and clear their path out, move other people out of the way. You get the route info at the SD Masala Spice Shop, and that's where they were going to find out those U-turn vote results that we just mentioned. Anything of note for you guys just about the rickshaw getting out of the parking lot?
I really, to be honest with you,
But it was fun. I mean, it's kind of a classic game, right? That's like a good cell phone game, like moving the cars around, make sure you can get your car out. Enjoyable.
Yeah, and the rickshaws come into play with the detours anyway, as well, even though some of them are different. So we'll get to that right now. Detour was either bundles or bricks. Bundles, you had to get bundles of Nevron flowers, deliver them to 2 different temples, get the delivery receipts, go back to the location, you'd be done. Detour was bricks. You had to pick up brick, sand, and gravel, use the rickshaw to deliver supplies to 1 construction site and get the receipts. It seems the receipts only came into play for Steve and Adelie when they had finished the second leg. When they finished the bricks, they found out they hadn't gotten the receipt for bundles or dropped off the receipt for bundles. So probably may have cost them a spot or 2. We'll see if that comes into play in a few weeks. I don't seem to think it's going to really hurt them too much, but Overall, I felt like, I guess you could say the brick, sand, and gravel stuff would be heavier, but it didn't seem like most weeks where there's a clear choice or more difficulty for, between the two. What did you guys think?
Yeah, we're both too similar.
Yeah, really, really similar. And like, especially for a U-turn like challenge and task, like why is this the one that we had to watch twice? Like you'd have
That's
at
very
least make them
true.
do something like a little bit different each time. Like that would make that so much more interesting. If they were playing to two different like sets of strengths and weaknesses.
Mhm.
That's really not what we got here. So I think that made that extra boring. It was like a lackluster U-turn as far as I was concerned.
That's a really good point, Kyle. I didn't even think about it, Justin. Maybe that's a big reason why I was bored. It was like visually, you were just seeing them do the same thing twice.
Yeah, like
Like one
it
should have
didn't
been
wasn't
like
different enough.
river based and another one food based, right? You said, or if it's construction based, it's building something versus delivering something, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good point because frankly, that is like we get to see someone doing the rice paper type stuff versus something more physical, like versus like a balance or a dance versus like a memorization.
Right. Do the rice paper and dance together or something like that. And like,
But we
oh,
got
yeah,
cart
like
and
two
cart.
totally different things. This was just packing and delivering. Like, okay.
It's a good point. Let's see. So, like I mentioned, Steve and Annalie do complete both detours. They do have the little receipt issue, but it didn't lead to any type of elimination. Uh, route info was to get you over to the. Oh, real quick before the route info, with that quick like cut scene to that guy just spinning with his arms out. Did you guys catch that?
No.
I don't think so. Describe it.
Dude, there's like they're walking. I don't know who it is, but they're like showing like a scene after this, and there's just like a local standing in the street, legit, like with his arms out, and he's just spinning. He's just like
See, like that's
spinning,
the stuff I want to see more of. Like when they're walking the streets, I
just
want
like
to
in a
see
t-shirt,
people.
like just like on the side of the road. Like people in the comments, I'm telling you, go, you'll see it. There's a dude who's just like literally propellering, standing out on the side of the street.
Yeah, Phil, show more of that, please.
Uh, um,
Missed it.
that guy was. I'm really upset no one else saw him. I hope someone else seen him. Okay, so Stephen Annalee. Okay, route info. The Gary Textile Wholesale Fabric Shop to get a roll of fabric and a clue from the owner, and then it went right to another route info for Jaipur Mahal. Like it was just boom, boom. There. It was just go to this location, grab the rug, and you're just gonna get the next clue. I'm like, well, it was like a lazy. What was that? Like that was
Yeah.
unnecessary. If it was
It's
lazy,
lame.
honestly.
It's lame.
Roadblock was block printing a peacock a bunch of times on the sheets. But that is where we do get our Amazing Race Mario Party reference of the day.
At least that.
Kyle, shout out. You sent this to me. I was thinking it as well, but I'm really glad that you sent it over. We are talking about Stamp Out. That's Mario Party 4. That's where it's a 4-player game, and you need to have the most of your colored stamps on the paper. You can stamp over other people's and be a prick, or just like try to get your own area. It's like I love that one. That's a classic one. It reminds me of kind of like the pizza eating one, right? That's like the 2v2. I like those type of ones.
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank on that one for some reason, but
Oh, you'll
once
see.
I get find it, I'll remember it.
Yeah, Stamp Out. Yeah, you'll see it right away. You'll remember it. That's a,
Yeah.
Kyle.
The
That was a
second you
solid
see a
one.
thumbnail, you'll know exactly what it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like this better than the cart challenges.
You
I
did,
mean,
huh?
for whatever it's worth.
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I think the guy that was Xing out everyone made it a little better because he you thought he'd be such a jerk, and he's like, "Good job" when you got it, like his voice.
That is true. I do like. I know. I mean, we always like laugh and love when we get like the really mean judges, but like there is something to say about sometimes just having the really friendly, loosey goosey ones. I kind of think that's kind of
Yeah, he
classic.
took his
So
job. He did his job. He took it super seriously, and he would just like slam down these X's. And it's just like I love it when he was just like somebody. I think it was Todd said he's like, oh, he would just go back and get more ink as he just was slamming down X's nonstop, and I enjoyed that.
no, for sure.
It
Um,
was only the red X's that made that fun. otherwise, like you're watching this stamping going on. First of all, it was a snooze and a half, just watching people like
Oh
stamp.
yeah, oh yeah,
And like
100%.
as a viewer, I don't even know what was correct. Every time I'm like, oh wow, these stamps looks really
Right.
great. I was like 0 out of 9. And it's like this is not fun to watch. Right. Because I feel like I can't play along. I don't know how well you're doing until the man comes with his exes. So like
At first I thought you had to
super
get
lame.
9 right in a slot. I was like, these people are gonna sleep here
That's
tonight.
what I thought too.
We're gonna
I didn't
die
know it
here.
was a cumulative total.
They'd still be
I thought
doing
it
it.
was like
Like
it had to be 9 each time. Like, oh no, it's gonna be dark by the time they get
yeah.
done with this.
That is
People waiting are the
true.
ones in the streets spinning their arms, like Bill said.
So I'm telling you, the Propeller Man isn't something to be like
We have
looked at.
Pigeon Man and Propeller Man. All right.
No.
Dude, this sounds like a Mega Man game right now.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Printed Peacock, shout out to Peacock. We watched a premiere of Love Island games on Peacock, exclusively on Peacock. So we're all
That's supposed
there
to be a
for it.
peacock.
That was terrible. I know. That was like
Peacock. Peacock.
I think peacocks are like like have like a shrill sound. I think I could be wrong though.
I don't do birds, so
You don't do birds at
Pigeon
all.
Man.
mm-mm. No. I mean, I'll eat chicken. That's about it.
The pit stop was at the
What
at
about
the
turkey?
traffic. Yeah, it was at the traffic stop. I have the name here. It was the.
Would you eat duck?
Would you eat?
I'd have to be a little drunk.
Really? Duck's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I wouldn't just sit down and say hello. I'll have the duck. Like I'd rather just like a casual chicken finger, something like that. Like duck. Like what does that taste like? What's the texture?
It's
I feel like
good.
it'd be a little tough, a little ropey.
What about pheasant?
Oh no, no, no. I don't know her.
I know a guy down south that just killed some.
I don't know her.
Oh
I don't know
my.
where she's from.
You know, I don't know anything about a pheasant, so I don't know. That sounds really like hoity-toity. Not for me.
You serve me meat, I'm eating it.
Oh wow,
Bet.
that's a broad statement. Are you sure? It's a lot of meat
Um,
out there.
the pit stops at the traffic stop, the traffic circle. They mentioned that there's no peak traffic time, meaning that it's always busy traffic. Welcome to any busy city in the world. Um, I think of traffic circles now like that. I think of John Wick 4, the big traffic circle scene, pretty dope. But this was, I mean, again, I guess it was a cool location for the stop, but again, it was pretty straightforward. They just had to just ride there. They're done.
Yeah, they should have had to go in that loop like a couple times to really like get the feel for that traffic. And I also wanted him to show a little clip of it at 2 a.m. because I was like, I don't believe you.
I don't proof. I want a 24-hour time lapse.
Yeah, show me a time lapse because I don't believe you that it's busy like that.
The I don't believe you is like a Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you.
Exactly. That's what I thought when I watched it. I was like, no, dude. Those cars don't have
Uh,
doors on it, man. So you're telling me when it's cold outside, there's gonna be like whipping around in that little traffic circle?
Does it get cold there though? Like, do they have like winters like we do?
I
I mean,
mean,
50
see, I know
degrees
in
when
the
you're
desert, a
driving
lot of
quickly
times
and
it's
there's no
cold as crap at
doors.
night.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you're driving quickly, there's no doors, even wind, you could be cold.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
This is like where we have like a lot of great banter the entire episode, and this is where Logan clips and he's like, the average low temperature in
Yeah.
India, in fact, is a balmy 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
It would be
Balmy.
Celsius though. I think you'd drop a Celsius there.
Oh, you give me the degrees in
Don't tread
Celsius. I
on
don't even
me,
know what you're talking
Brian.
Well, I'm
about.
just I don't the every other country uses
Don't
Celsius
tread
besides
on
us.
me.
I hope he honestly comes in when it's like when we're talking about eat chicken and I will eat any meat. Like that's where I want him to hop in, and or Pigeon Man.
Pigeon
Any of the
Man is like
tangents, that's where I want to. I want to see the points come in on the tangents, not where we're like this leg sucked.
it's like
You
Super
stand.
Troopers. Somebody told Brian he had to say Pigeon Man 5 times in this review, and we just don't know about it.
No, I think you should actually
There's somebody
send
on the
him
other side behind
timestamps.
this camera with a gun to my head. It's like you need to say Pigeon Man 2 more times.
Say Pigeon Man.
Pigeon Man.
Say the Pigeon.
Real quick, Greg and John win the leg. They make a nice jump here. They get a trip to New Zealand.
Oh, that's
Doesn't
fun.
sound like
Yeah.
they're going to send them to the Shire, which I don't respect. If you go to New Zealand, you got to go and check out the Shire.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Brian, as we
Wins that
do
like
every
Lord of the
week,
Rings.
give us the order of finish and the unfortunate eliminated team from the Amazing Race.
Okay, first place we have Greg and John. Second place Rob and Corey. Third place Joel and Garrett. Fourth place Morgan and Lena. Fifth place Todd and Ashley. Sixth place Andrea and Melina. Seventh place Stephen and Ali. Eighth place Robin and Chelsea. And last place and eliminated we have Liam and Jeremy.
Liam and Jeremy were kind of trailing in the back end for a while here. This isn't much of a surprise. This is probably it's a surprise to me as far as like we thought preseason they would be a stronger team. It didn't turn out to be the case. But this is probably one of the last, I'd say, lower tier teams that we've seen as far as like on this cast. So I really do think there is a solid core left. There may be a few more towards the bottom tier, but I think overall I like the parity left so far in the casts. What do you guys think of the elimination, where we stand, and going into next week?
Isn't this the team that Logan picked on our preview?
I thought so. We'll find out.
We'll see if he admits it. But yeah, I think they're probably the only team that I'm looking at the list right now that hadn't gotten in the top five. I think maybe Andrea and Melina, maybe not, but Robin and Chelsea, they got first place once. Stephen and Ali are they were in first before. So I mean, I'm looking at the list. Everybody else is
they're rock stars.
There.
I'm sorry to see Liam and Jeremy go. I did enjoy their relationship. I kind of like the journey that they were on together as brothers. They were also two of the finest men I ever did see. That is certainly worth mentioning. I mean, like
handsome men.
Those eyes, my goodness gracious. I mean, you couldn't even decide who to look at more, right? I mean, like just the finest men.
I couldn't tell you what color their eyes are.
Well, I guess you guys don't care, but I mean, for us.
Well, I mean, I'd like to know.
But like, my goodness gracious, they were gorgeous. But I do like the pink team. What is that? Andrea and Melina.
Yeah, I like them too.
I thought they were going to run into a problem. I don't understand how they were able. Their rickshaw was just passing all of these other people, and I was like, "We're going to find out they're not in an electric one, right? They're in one that's like diesel, and that's why they're like running past
There's like
all
a
these
jetpack
people.
on the back.
Yeah, and it's like, why is this happening? Like they're passing. They passed Steve and Emily.
What were they saying? Tourist when they were like everything they run by, and they'd be like, "Oh, tourists or visitors here," and like when they run out
of towners.
I love
that line.
Yeah, I don't know why their rickshaw was like on turbo, but like, hey, more power to them. Like they're certainly fun to watch. And they were the two that refused to reveal that they had U-turned.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I thought that was fun too. They're like, "Oh no, you can just watch that back on television."
Yep, I like that.
They're the Philly girls. I've told you they were my sentimental favorites, right? I didn't pick them to win, but like I wanted them to perform well, and they are performing very well. So I want them to continue and rep. We haven't had to do a big edit about them yet, so they've been safe. You know what I mean? They haven't featured them really. And I'm like, okay, time they don't feature somebody at least early, you have a pretty good shot of at least surviving. They feature your ass,
right?
You may be out.
Right. That's totally
true. That's the survivor curse.
Yeah.
Like, why am I seeing so much of you?
Because I'm not going to see any more of you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's everything we have. Well, obviously we'll be back next week. Make sure you said you're like, subscribed here and on TikTok, also to the Strat Chat podcast. Kyle, any little plug here?
Oh yeah, come hang out with us. We go live Mondays and Thursdays. We're doing the Challenge 39. We just picked that one up. We're doing Survivor 45 as well, and of course our bread and butter, Big Brother 25. Even though it's kind of at a low. We'll kind of be happy when this sucker wraps up next week. But until then, we're still chatting, Mondays and Thursdays about it. So yeah, come hang, get in the conversation.
We appreciate you as always, brother. And you will be obviously on the Survivor review as well. So you'll get another chance to see Kyle's opinion on one of our other shows that we cover. So until the next review, for myself, Brian, and Kyle, thank you. Peace.